Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel and to the Ultimate Racing League with our sponsors W.GG, the energy drink for gamers, and Eldridge Air Conditioning. Now we are with our Sunday league, the most popular league that URL are running at the minute, and we are with the League 4 guys. We are at round 7. And we have come over to France, and we are at the fictional track of the Circuit de St. Croix, or Circuit de St. Croix. Depends how whether you're posh or not. I'm not, so it's St. Croix. Many layouts on this track. We are on the B layout. It's quite a good track actually. 4.5 miles, 14 turns. It's a clockwise track. And it's set, as I say, it's fictional, but it's supposedly set around a French lake. So that's the track we're on today, St. Croix Layout B. Now, as I mentioned, with the League 4 guys, I'm just going to go down the actual league. We are over halfway now. We have 4 rounds to go, including this one. And it's all getting very, very tight at the top of the league. In joint first, we've got Wayne G and Harry Poppins, both on 184 points. We've got Big Dan. He's in second or third. He's on 178 points, so there's only 6 points there. Frowny just behind him on 176 points, and then Scotty Mick is on 158 points. So you can see between those 5 there's hardly anything. It's all to play for. It's anybody's game really. Down at the other end in the drop zone, so in 16th we've got Dude Bell on 27 points. Just above him in 15th is Castrian on 37 points. 14th is Hoppers. He's in 38 points, only a point above Castrian. And then 4 points in front of him is joint 12th with Phaser and Ninky New on 42 points. So again, not a massive gap between the bottom 5 as well. So yeah, it is all to play for in this Sunday league. It's really, really hotting up. Now, as I mentioned, we're at round 7, we're at St. Croix on the B layout. We've got 2 races for you this evening. The first one is the out-and-out sprint race, and the second one, as usual, if you've tuned in before, as usual, is a mandatory pit stop with a change of tyres. More about that, though, when we get to race 2. So we will crack on with this one. Excuse me. Now, the guys have been out there and done their qualifying, and this is how the grid stacks up. For race 1 then, we've got Wayne G has managed to secure pole. Scott just behind him in second. Bazza in third. Frowny is 4th. Enzo Jack is 5th on the grid. Harry Poppins is 6th. 7th on the grid is Aussie Rooster. 8th is Pete. 9th is Phaser. 10th is Castrian. Ninky New is 11th. DB 12th. Captain Slow is 13th, with Hoppers bringing up the rear in 14th. So we will change back to the camera and we will ask these guys to get this race underway. Now, as I say, it is a fictional track, so there's no corner names, unfortunately, so we might make a few up as we go along, who knows. But we're in for a good race nevertheless, as we head down towards turn 1 for the first time in this 12 lap race. Wayne G leading the way, as he is in the league tables as well, along with Harry Poppins, although Harry Poppins down in 6th at the minute. All the guys are going to be on the racing soft tyres for this first race. As I mentioned, it is a sprint race, out-and-out sprints, as we see Scott and Bazza getting a bit side by side there, but Scott manages to get himself into second, Bazza in third. Then we've got Frowny and Enzo Jack, it looked like they are the 2 Marlborough guys going side by side for a moment there, as we come down to, this is the tricky section now, as we go across the bridge. So we go through turns 5 and 6, and then we go across the bridge up towards turn 7. Right, making a quick note to self. So into turn 7, quite a tight sweeping left-hander. Fantastic view in the background with all those mountains. I'm not sure if the mountains are fictional or not. I would imagine they are. I don't know. If anybody knows, if you can let me know. But it does make some fantastic scenery. As Frowney decides he's going to have a pop at Bazza as we head down the hill towards turn 9. A bit of a kink in the road, really. It is full gas through there. You don't have to touch the brakes at all. Into turn 10, another tight right-hander, which then immediately takes you into 11. And Frowney and Baz are going side by side, having a bit of a door bashing session. Baz are getting on the inside, though, as they go through turn 11. Now, this is a bit of an S section. You've got turns 11, 12 and 13. And it is a bit of a right-left. And they're still side by side, and it looks like Harry Poppins trying to get in on the fun as well. Harry Poppins goes through, he takes Brownie, and he's having a look at Bazza, but he's going all the way around the outside. Frowney comes back up on the inside, so Harry Poppins has to drop in behind him, back down into 5th, and across the start-finish line to start lap 2. In the meantime, up at the front, Wayne G is still out there with Scott just hanging on to the back of him. These two starting to pull away. But as Bazza, Frowney and Harry Poppins, and Enzo Jack's in there as well. Now it is the turn of Harry Poppins and Enzo Jack to go side by side as Frowney tries to have a look at the inside of Bazza. Excuse me, as we're going through turn 3. Harry Poppins in 5th, just behind Frowney. Enzo Jack has had to slot in behind Harry Poppins now. Let's see what the rest of the field are doing. Aussie Rooster in 7th. He's got Phaser just behind him in 8th. As they go down the hill through turns 4. Oh, Phaser taking a big lump out of that curb as he goes around turn 5 and 6 and then onto the bridge. Pete in 9th. Then we've got DB and Ninky Noo. They have now decided to go side by side across the bridge. Down towards turn 7 they go. Oh, and DB just has to slot in behind Ninky Noo. Bit of a twitch going on there from DB. I'm not sure if one of the wheel nuts is loose. He needs to get on the radio and have a word with the mechanics about that. Castrian in 12th. Hopper's 13th and Captain Slowdown in 14th. These guys starting to lose touch a little bit with the main group. So they need to get a move on. Otherwise, they'll be losing sight of them. In the meantime, Scott and Wayne G going side by side as they go into turn 8. Wayne G, oh, he goes very wide, just gets his back wheels on the gravel, but manages to hold on to it. In the meantime, though, Scott has took full advantage of that mistake by Wayne G and has moved up to take the lead. Wayne G has to slot in behind him in 2nd. I think Wayne G was just trying to give Scott a bit of room, but went too wide, and that has cost him as they go into the final turn, turn 14, this right-hander, and head towards the start-finish straight again. So now we have a new leader then for the start of lap 3, and that is Scott. Wayne G just behind in 2nd, Frowney now in 3rd, Bazza 4th, Harry Poppins is 5th, Enzo Jack 6th, Aussie Rooster 7th, then we've got Pete, Ninky Noo, DB. He's having a look at Ninky Noo, isn't he, DB? He's thinking about it as they're going into turn 1. Phaser coming up the inside. Has he got the move done? Phaser going on the inside of Ninky Noo and DB. So Phaser could get a double overtake here, but no, he slots in behind Ninky Noo. Let's go on board with Phaser. Oh, Phaser's... Well, has he got the job done? What's happened to Ninky Noo? Where's he gone? Well, I'm going to go back and have a look because Ninky Noo in 9th, he's got Phaser all over him. Phaser slots in behind, DB in 11th, and I completely lost Ninky Noo, so where did he go? Oh, there was a bit of a bumper kiss there from DB on Ninky Noo, and that enabled Phaser to get through. That's why I lost him. So Phaser goes through to 9th, although Ninky Noo is deciding he's going to have another go back. Let's go on board with Ninky Noo, shall we? as we have a look behind and see DB chasing us down as we're going through turn 5 into turn 6. This right hander which leads you onto the bridge, very bumpy into that section, and very easy for the car to get unsettled and throw you out. So across this bridge again, great views, except Ninky Noo did not want to be looking at that behind him, which is DB's NSX, and it is all over the back of Ninky Noo. So around turn 8 they go, and into, sorry, I'll get myself all lost here, all this excitement. Now they're going around turn 8. DB having a bit of a look at the inside of Ninky Noo, slots back in again, trying to get in the slipstream as they go down the hill through and towards turn 9. This very fast right hander, and now DB pulls to the right. Oh, Phaser, he's in the way. I'm sure he didn't mean to be. It was the slipstream that caught everybody out actually. So Ninky Noo goes through to 9th. Phaser just behind him. Well, he was. He's back in front again. So Phaser didn't want to give that 9th place up, did he? Oh, Ninky Noo has been done by DB. The move on Phaser, I think Ninky Noo thought he'd got that move done. Phaser fought back and that caught him out. Oh, and looks like Ninky Noo's going to lose a few places. Now what's happened here? There was a bit of a bumper kiss with Castrian. Let's just drop back and have a quick look at that. These four battling away. I think Ninky Noo got caught out with the fact that Phaser fought back. DB was able to pull alongside Ninky Noo and then get the move done. And Ninky Noo reeling in the fact that he thought he'd got those spaces taken, lost out, and then it was a bit of a door touch, wasn't it, with Castrian? Nothing intentional, obviously. But Ninky Noo goes through to 11th, Castrian 12th, and then we've got Captain Slow and Hoppers just bringing up. Oh, it's Hoppers has a bit of a side swipe with Barrier. That's going to take the paint off that door. Oh, a bit of lag going on there for Hoppers as well. Doesn't really need that. Oh, as Wayne G's retaking the lead now. Let's see if we can find where that happened. Well, it was a long way back, wasn't it? It was around turn 8, and they're going down the hill in this very fast section. Wayne G just gets himself into the slipstream of Scott. Through turn 9 they go. Pedal to the metal, as they say. Wayne G just pulls out of the slipstream, gets himself on the inside into turn 10, and a pretty straightforward move for Wayne G. Not a lot Scott could do about that. He does try and fight back, but Wayne G gets himself on the inside as we go through turn 11. So Wayne G taking the lead then. So let's get back to where we were, with Wayne G leading Scott as we're going around turn 3 and down the hill now into this quick section through turn 4, and then we go into turn 5, and then 6 is the right hander which takes you onto the bridge. Now, as I said before, turn 6, it's very bumpy as you go through there. If you get on the curbs as well, it can unsettle the car. So the guy's doing actually a great job, so that nobody's actually hit the barrier on the entrance into that bridge section. Well, not yet, I don't want to curse anybody. So we see Scott and Wayne G going through. A few car lengths gap between Scott and Frowny, but Frowny not that far behind. He's got Harry Poppins all over the back of him. Harry Poppins will be desperate to get back up in there into amongst the top 3 and get himself on the podium, especially with the points being as tight as they are, with between Wayne G and Harry Poppins. Wayne G at the minute taking the most points. Now down the hill and through turn 9, can Harry Poppins get any closer to Frowny? He's just going to keep the pressure on, I think, keep himself in the mirrors of Frowny's car. So through turn 10 they go, avoiding the gravel on the left. Harry Poppins just picking up a little bit on that left rear tyre. He should be okay though through this section. So great racing from these guys so far. It is bumper to bumper. Aussie Rooster down in 6. He's a bit on his own at the minute, isn't he, Aussie Rooster? The Team Castrol. I'm sure he won't mind. You can just about see Bazza up ahead. Oh, and Harry Poppins has managed to get in front of Frowny on the straight. So into turn 1. So Harry Poppins now moves up into 3rd. Frowny in 4th. Frowny, he's going to fight back though. He wants that podium spot back, doesn't he? As they go through turn 2 for the 5th time. Frowny still behind Harry Poppins, although trying to get a decent exit out of that turn. As they go down towards the hill, Frowny took right underneath the rear wing of Harry Poppins. Bazza just sitting there in the background in 5th, waiting for these two to have a bit of a coming together so he can take full advantage through turn 5 into 6, and then onto the bridge section again. They go. Harry Poppins just in front of Frowny. Frowny trying to get right up into the smelly end of Harry Poppins so he can then make that move. Can he get it done before they get to the end of the bridge? I don't think he can. He's just going to have to sit there. Maybe he's going to wait until he can go through turn 8 and then head down the hill. That's what he's probably doing, planning on making his move there. In the meantime, Bazza is moving closer and closer, and is he going to have a go as well? So what we're going to do is jump on board with Frowny. Oh, he's got a decent exit out of turn 8. Oh, I thought he was going to get it done. Bazza bearing down on him. Frowny tucked right underneath the rear end of Harry Poppins. Through turn 9 they go. Now Frowny pulls to the inside. We thought he would. This is what he's been planning, I think, for the last couple of turns. Into turn 10, late on the brakes. And they are still side by side. Harry Poppins has just managed to keep himself in front. And Bazza has snuck through. Snuck? Is that a word? But Bazza has gone through on the inside of Frowny. I think Frowny was trying to battle with Harry Poppins. Really took his eye off of Bazza. And Bazza said thank you very much. Although Bazza has made a slight mistake there and had a bit of a scrape with the wall. Into turn 14 they go. But good defending from Bazza. He's managed to keep Frowny behind him. So unfortunately Frowny, instead of taking that 3rd spot away from Harry Poppins again, he's found himself down in 5th now as we head towards turn 1. Bit of a touch on the brakes just to take this sweeping right-hander, and we are now right underneath Bazza. This is going to be a bit of a difficult overtake if Frowny's thinking about doing it. Through turn 2, and then immediately you are into the left-hander, which is turn 3. Very easy to drift, very wide, but both these guys making it look very easy. Frowny sticking right under Bazza. He just can't see where he's going. Well, I can't see where he's going. And now Frowny decides he's going to try and go around the outside. No, as he cuts back on turn 5 and then into turn 6. Maybe he's thinking about making a move across the bridge. Oh, you could see the car twitching about, and that's what I was talking about with the bumps in the road there as we enter onto the bridge. I'm going to have to go down the rest of the grid, but I just want to stay with these guys just for a few minutes. Oh, and Frowny's gone up the inside of Bazza. Oh, did they have a bit of a touch? Well, I think they might have done, but that was just a bit of a racing incident. Oh, maybe Bazza doesn't think so. A bit of a flash of the lights. That was either a great pass, mate, well done, or what do you think you're doing? Oh, and Frowny just overcooked it on turn 8 and clipped the barrier. No harm done though. Bazza still behind him. So Frowny in 4th then, Bazza in 5th. Let's have a move down the grid. Aussie Rooster in 6th. You can just see Pete in his mirrors in 7th. Then we've got Enzo Jack. Things have calmed down for Enzo Jack. He was in the mix, wasn't he, early doors, but things have calmed down for him in 8th. Phaser in 9th. He's got DB just tucked up behind him. As we go through turn 9, DB there in 10th, then Ninky New in 11th, unfortunately dropped right down. He was having a bit of a battle early on as well, wasn't it? Ooh, getting a little bit twitchy as we go through turn 10. Gravel being kicked up all over the place by DB. Got Castuan in 12th. and then a bit of a gap then back to Captain Slow and Hoppers, who is not that far behind Captain Slow. Come on, Hoppers, for Lucky Strike. We're back up to the pointy end, and Wayne G has managed to open up a little bit of a gap now back to Scott. There is a few car lengths between the two of them, so Wayne G can have a bit of a sigh of relief. He's currently got the fastest lap, a 2:19.9, and he's on a purple sector as well. So Wayne G really settling into the race now and getting a good feel of this track. Scott just behind him in second, having a good race as well. Is Scott. Harry Poppins in third. He can't really relax, can he? He's got Frowny and Bazza bearing down on him. So, yeah, no chilling out time for Harry Poppins, I'm afraid. Bazza in fifth. He's got a decent gap then back to Aussie Rooster. So, this is where the action seems to be in amongst these, well, I was going to say, not the Wayne G, but certainly Harry Poppins, Frowny and Bazza at the minute. Let's just have a look. Oh, Pete seems to have caught up with Aussie Rooster. We'll jump on board with Pete, shall we? Look at that view, those mountains. I'm sure Pete's not looking at those mountains, but we can. We'll just peer it over his shoulder. Nothing behind to bother us, so we can just concentrate fully on catching up to the back of Aussie Rooster as we go down the hill. You can see it really revving that NSX out. As we enter turn 9, little kink in the road. Down towards turn 10, hard on the brakes for this right-hander. Don't drift too far to the left. A great corner from Pete. And then we're into this S section of turn 11. Then 12. Bit of a bump in the road as we go through turn 13 as well. Just about there. Nicking as much of the track as you can, as Peter's demonstrating very well there actually. And then it's into turn 14. It looked like Aussie Rooster got that turn a little bit wrong and went a bit sideways. And where is Aussie Rooster going? Well, Aussie Rooster has gone into the pits. So I'm not sure what's going on with Aussie Rooster. Enzo Jack has gone into the pits as well. Are the tyres worn out? I didn't think there was any pit stops on this race, but maybe there is. I'm pretty sure you don't have to stop on this particular race. There is no mandatory stop. Obviously, you can if you want to, if you feel the need. But Aussie Rooster obviously felt the need. But Wayne G out in front. I don't think he's going to be pitting anytime soon. Neither will Scott, just behind him. I'm just looking at the tyres. They're around about 50% on the left-hand side, which you would expect on a clockwise track. It is the outside tyres that take the punishment, and in this case, it is the left-hand side of the car. Harry Poppins in third. He'd say about 50% on the left-hand side tyres. Frowny not that far behind in fourth. Bazza in fifth. So these three really about equal distance apart actually. So no real gain from the slipstream apart. Well, Frowny and Bazza are getting a little bit, but Harry Poppins certainly won't. Pete down in sixth. Aussie Rooster, he's back out. He's on a fresh set of softs. Phaser on the worn softs. Then we've got Ninky Noo in 9th, DB 10, Castrian 11th. He's trying to fend off Enzo Jack. Enzo Jack is going to make a move, I think, on Castrian as we come down the hill now towards turn 9. Enzo Jack definitely in the slipstream of Castrian. So through turn 9. Is Enzo Jack going to stay on the inside? It looks like he is. He's trying to position that car so he can get the move done on Castrian. Into turn 10 they go. And Enzo Jack, I think, has just got his nose in front. He has quite a straightforward overtake for Enzo Jack. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. Position the car early. Let Castrian know what he was doing. And not a great deal Castrian could do. Just got to watch as Enzo Jack sailed past. So Castrian down in 12th now, Captain Slow 13th, with Hoppers still in 14th. Back up to the top then. We are on lap 9. Wayne G out in front. Onto the bridge. We've just seen Scott in the background. In second. Harry Poppins still in third, with Frowny in fourth. And Bazza in fifth. So let's go on board with Frowny, shall we? And then we can see what we're looking at from his point of view. That's the view we've got behind, and that's the view we've got in front. He seems to catch right up to the back end of Harry Poppins going into the turns, but then loses a bit of ground on the straights. Now the cars obviously all got the same power unit, we're all on the same tyres, so no advantage to be had in race 1 there. So it is just down to driver skill as we come down through turn 9. No lifting at all, it is full throttle through there. Now into turn 10, trying to keep it as smooth as we can. Back on the power early. Oh, more gravel being kicked up by Harry Poppins, just trying to blind Frowny a little bit. Bazza still hanging in there, so no let up for Harry Poppins or Frowny. Bazza is still on them as we head towards turn 14, and we will go across the start finish line to start lap 10, so only 3 laps to go. Let's have a look at tyres. So Frowny, the front left is actually looking very worn for Frowny. Let's go back up and go down. Wayne G, he's looked after his tyres a lot better. He's only on about 50%, especially on the front left. Scott, he is slightly more wear on his tyres, so he will start feeling it. Harry Poppins, he, I would say, is about 60-65% wear on his tyres on the left. Frowny is a lot more, so I think Frowny is going to start to struggle. This could be played right into Bazza's hands here, although I say that, and Bazza has really chewed through his tyres as well. And you can see other people start to come into the pits. Phasers come in, so these tyres really not holding up. Now, as I say, there is not a mandatory pit stop in race 1, but a lot of the guys feeling that they need to pit, otherwise they're not going to make it to the end of the race. I think the front 3 will. Wayne G certainly will. He really has looked after his tyres. Scott, I would say he's got another couple of laps left in them at least. Same with Harry Poppins. Frowny, he might be struggling. I've got a feeling he's going to try and keep going, but he may be struggling. He really needs to ease off a little bit on those tyres, but he can't because he's got Bazza all over him. Although Bazza, I'm not so sure, is going to make it to the end of the race. Now that could cost him. Where is Pete? Well, Pete is just coming on the exit of turn 8, and Bazza is just coming up to the entry of turn 10, and Pete is only on about 50% tyre wear, so this could play into Pete's hands if Bazza has to pit. Now, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty confident that the red tyre rule is still in. And basically what that means is you can, if your tyre goes fully red, you have to finish that lap. You have to come in and change that tyre. So you cannot stay out on red tyres. That used to be a rule, and I think it still is. I don't think it's changed. Oh, you could see both Frowny and Bazza having a bit of a side swipe with the wall there, and that'll be down to the tyres as we cross the line to start lap 11. So 2 laps to go, and both Frowny and Bazza are going to start to struggle now. That front left tyre is really well past its sell by date, or use by date should I say, and these guys will start to feel it now. Pete can start to catch up. let's see how everybody else is doing. Aussie Rooster still down in 7th after his stop. Enzo Jack, he's also made a stop. He's in 8th. Ninky New in 9th. Phaser, he's stopped in 10th. Then we've got Castrian. DB, he's stopped. Captain Slow, and then Hoppers. So, nearly half the field have made a pit stop. Somebody who hasn't is Wayne G, and he will definitely not stop. Got the fastest lap at 2:19.9. You can see he got that on lap 5. We are now on lap 11. So Wayne G looking very comfortable for maximum points here. Scott just sitting behind him in 2nd. Harry Poppins in 3rd. There'll be some decent points for him, but it does mean that Wayne G will just extend that lead. He will just pull away from him at the top of the table. Brownie in 4th. It's these guys I'm just going to keep an eye on because of their tyre wear. As we're approaching turn 10, let's just see and see how Bazza gets around here. Well, he seems to be coping quite well at the minute. Definitely slowed down. You can see his last lap was a 2:23 as opposed to lap 9 was a 2:21, so a good 2 seconds slower on his last lap. Now if he crosses the line with a little bit of white showing on the tyres, then he's going to be okay. I'm sure he doesn't want to pit. Frowny's the same, so neither of them are coming into the pits, and we do have a little bit of white showing on the tyres, so they are okay. So yes, they are okay, but I can't see them catching up to Harry Poppins, Scott and Wayne. Not with the tyres as they are. So Frowny and Bazza 4th and 5th going to struggle for this lap, I think. Pete down in 6th. I think he could have took advantage of that. He wouldn't know about their tyre wear, obviously. He could have done with putting some faster laps in. You can see his last couple of laps have not been great ones, a 2:29 and a 2:25. Doing well to stay in 6th though is Pete. Aussie Rooster, however, he's putting some decent laps in now. He's on the newer tyres, 21s, 22s. Is he going to catch up to Pete though? Well, he's not that far behind, although it is the last lap. Enzo Jack in 8th, Ninky New is 9th, Phaser 10th. Then we've got Castrian, DB, Captain Slow, and then Hoppers. So back up to our race leader, Wayne G. He's had a good race in this first race. And I bet he's feeling pretty confident now, all bar a major disaster. I think Wayne G is going to take that checkered flag and the win for race 1. Around turn 10 he goes for the final time in this first race. Good points for AP Racing Team from Wayne G. Scott for the Napa team in 2nd. Some decent points for him as well. So we're just going to follow Wayne G now as we approach turn 14. Fantastic race and a well-deserved victory for Wayne G as he sees the checkered flag there. And across the line he goes, flash of the lights. Yeah, well done Wayne G. Good win. Scott in 2nd. He'll be pleased with that. Harry Poppins is going to come across the line to take that 3rd and final podium spot, so well done to Harry Poppins. Frowny across the line in 4th. A completely red tyre on the left front, but he made it round. Bazza, same situation for him, across the line in 5th, so well done to those two guys. Pete, just having a scrape, but he manages to hold on to 6th. From Aussie Rooster in 7th. Aussie made the stop as well, so Aussie did well to come across the line in 7th after making a stop. Enzo Jack had a good start to the race, but fell off the pace, didn't he, as it progressed. He's finished in 8th position. Ninky New, He's going to cross the line in 9th, with Phaser in 10th. Then we've got DB coming home in 11th. So well done, DB. Castrian just coming around turn 14 now and on to the start finish. He's had a bit of a moment. You can see he's got damage to the front. So he's obviously clipped that wall as he's come around turn 13, but Castrian across the line in 12th. Then we've got quite a gap then back to Captain Slow, so we're just going to fast forward it just a little bit. Oh, that's probably not the best of times to fast forward to. And I'm sorry, Captain Slow, but we will have a look because it does look quite dramatic. Oh, as he comes round that turn. Oh, I don't even know what turn it is. 14. He's come round and he has just smacked the barrier. Oh, and that is so unfortunate. Hoppers says thank you very much. I'll have a bit of that. It was turn 13 for Captain Slow. Hoppers goes around turn 14 and across the line in 13. So that was unlucky for Captain Slow. A big slam into the barrier as he came out of the S's and turn 13 and across the line in 14th. Well, that was race 1. Join me again shortly for race 2 back here in France at the Circuit de Croix at the B layout. I shall catch you all very soon.